I collect copies of photos. First as I started on, I was living in Digby, and the original photo, the first one that I had that I wanted to get a decent copy of, was one that had my great-grandfather's wheelwright shop in it. Now, it was only a postcard, and it was a very small part of that photo. So I went over to Hamilton and I was talking to Ernest Cameron over there, and he was a professional photographer. And he said, what you've got to do, he said, to do photography. Now I was only about 20 or so. Anyway, he said there was a chap in Merino, Stanley Hayes. Now he said, Stan does photography. He said he'd teach you how to do it. So I went and saw Stanley, and he said, oh yeah, he said, come down. He said, we'll set up a dark room. So the first dark room went in the pantry, and that's where we set it up. There wasn't much room, it was pretty rugged, but it worked. And I started doing photography, and of course, once you start doing it, it gets to you. And you sort of continue. Now, we put some photos on at the Merino show. There's only a few, but the amount of interest in them was just unbelievable. And of course, out of that came more photos, and I thought, yeah, this isn't bad fun. So I started doing the collection then, and of course, not to the extent it is now, but it was at the start of it. And we started putting photos on. We did some in 1977 for the back two at Digby, and the amount of interest in them was just, yeah, surprising. And of course it's sort of gone on from there, and especially when I got down here to Portland and started with computers and that, and I started from scratch. I didn't know how to turn the damn things on, and once I got started on it, if I'd have been born 40 years ago, yeah, I'd have said I'd have been a computer nerd well and truly. What you can do with them, the amount of stuff you can do with a computer is incredible compared to what you can do in the darkroom. The darkroom's limited. The only thing I like better in the darkroom than I do on the computer is the fact that photos cannot be changed. Something that you've got to be very careful of when you're repairing a photo or whatever, that you don't alter it. Well, I've got a set of rollers downstairs. That's done on vinyl, sticky back vinyl, not done on paper. So you can stick it on anything. It can be stuck onto MDF, or it can go onto aluminium sheeting or tin or whatever you want to put it on. And it just goes through the rollers, and then you laminate them so that they're protected and it doesn't hurt them if they get wet then. You can do any photos, it doesn't matter what they are. I can do glass negatives, you can do slides, you can do ordinary contact prints, whatever you want to do. You can do them on a computer nowadays. Before, what you used to have to do was to sit the original photo up, take a photo of it with a 35mm camera, and then blow them up in the darkroom. You can enlarge them in there. And I think the biggest we used to go up to was about 40 by 30 or something like that, centimetres, so yeah. But they last for a long, long time. The early computer stuff faded badly, and that's a major problem with them. That's why I had to go to the big printer I've got downstairs, because it won't fade. It's got proper UV inks and everything. It's a proper industrial printer. It's one the sign writers use, 30 grand's worth. And I picked it up second hand, which was pretty lucky. Yeah, well, that's the main printer I use. And that's how the photos come out when they're done out for display. I can print a photo out a metre high and whatever length it works out to. The proper UV inks so they won't fade. These you never have any trouble with them fading like the others. They're 750mm, but they're about $450 each. You're looking at reviving our history. That's what you're doing. They're done on aluminium, and that should be done in every country down. Reviving our history. The earliest of them started in 1859, and they were photos that were taken by a photographer by the name of Thomas Hannay, and he comes through the Western District, right through from Geelong, in 1859, and some of his photos are fantastic shots. Well, my aim for the collection is that when I've finished with the photos, So what we do too is do photos, laminate them, and they're in a 400mm wide, or whatever height it works out to. Those that are all laminated with the captions and everything on, once we put on display, will end up going back to the local historical society. They get them given to them when I've finished with them. One set of CDs, DVDs, whatever the case may be at that time, you don't know what the format's going to be. I hope to go to the State Archives. The other thing we do with the photos is to drop them into the old folks' homes where they can have a look at them, leave them in there for a month or so. They hand them around, let people have a look at them, and that's good value. The oldies reckon they're just great. But the idea is just to preserve our history and put it away.